let's get into a little bit more detail around organic versus paid social media. When we talk about organic content, we are typically referring to unpaid posts or tweets which garner attention just because of the engaging nature of the content. So the social media algorithm has picked up that a lot of people are commenting on your brand content and therefore are enjoying it, are consuming it, and are wanting to spend more time on that content. So there are instances where organic content will perform particularly well, but it's not a general rule. It's typically because of the nature of the post. For example, if it's funny, politically relevant, or it really strikes a nerve with consumers, then of course your organic content will do fantastically well because it's picked up by the social media platforms that a lot of people are commenting in a short space of time. Paid content, on the other hand, is what we see as a result of this pay-to-play environment, which we've just discussed, which is any post which has had money put behind it in order for that post to get greater reach. So when we're talking about organic content specifically, I'd love for you guys to consider this for a moment. So we know that social media is actually the most quintessential form of content marketing. And content marketing is defined as a type of marketing which involves the creation and sharing of online material that does not explicitly promote a brand but is intended to stimulate interest in its products or services. So in order to get good reach on social media, your content really does need to strike a happy medium between relevance and reach. So on this graph, you can see on the far left, something like a product press release from a company. It is incredibly relevant to the brand. However, its reach is typically very low. So on the contrary, something like a cat picture, it's not relevant at all to your brand, but you'll find that often it'll get great reach just because that's the kind of content that people like seeing on the internet. So you want to strike a happy balance so that you get as much audience as you possibly can looking at your post, however, that it's still relevant to the message that you're trying to convey. So really what it's all about is matching the consumer intent with your consumer interest. So rather than putting out, for example, repetitive company press releases that are of little interest to anyone other than your staff, it's better to, of course, structure things so that they are more content marketing led. So how do we angle this in true editorial fashion in such a way that it's more interesting to the consumer than simply all about a business? It's like going on a first date and all the person talks about is themselves.